Hello, this is Helane Lipson with your April 2013 astrological forecast. We kick off the astrological new year with an action-packed new moon in Aries. Set your intentions because it occurs on Wednesday, April 10th, 2013 at 5:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a supercharged seeding time for anything new. With the new moon in Aries, your confidence is boosted, and if you're struggling with dragging energy, it's potentially a spark out of stagnation. The Aries moon is a time of action. It brings with it the characteristics of assertiveness, awareness, impulsiveness, exploration, and risk-taking. This fiery sign shows your competitive and warrior nature. The new moon is a time to look within yourself. It's a time of new beginnings or breaking some old patterns. With the spring, it's time to prepare the garden and plant new seeds, new intentions. Aries rules the first house, the house of self. With this energy, you may see your inner courage shines light on your leadership skills, your boldness, and your independence. Aries also rules the first chakra, the root chakra. During this new moon, look at your self-reliance, self-sufficiency, and self-direction. You may feel more impulsive and assertive. Honor your instincts at this time. With this Aries new moon, there's an opportunity to break free from old patterns, let go of anger, impulsiveness, selfishness, and any issues regarding fears related to survival. The Aries power of this cycle is magnified with Venus and Mars and Uranus joining the Sun and Moon very closely in Aries. With this configuration of all the planets clustered in Aries, expect surprising results with a ripple effect from your actions. And more big news in our April 2013 forecast. Pluto turns retrograde in Capricorn on April 12th, and it will not be in direct motion until September 20th, 2013. With this powerful transit, if you're willing to dig down deep and get to the root of a problem, there is tremendous potential for transformation here. Pluto forces us to make necessary changes and serves as a wake-up call. Right now, Pluto is in Capricorn, a practical, ambitious earth sign. While traveling through Capricorn, Pluto will transform our relationship to structure, discipline, order, and career. Once and for all, it's time to let go of all those things you don't need, and then watch new life spring from the old. For more information about how these transits affect you specifically, come see me at my website, www.insightsbyhelane.com. And now, here's Ask Inelia.
Hi, welcome to Ask Inelia. I'm your host, Helane Lipson. For those of you not yet familiar with Inelia Benz, she's a teacher, a spiritual catalyst, and her mission is to raise the vibration of the planet. Since December 2012, folks have been writing in with all kinds of questions for Inelia. Today, our topic will be about karma, the gifts and challenges we bring into this lifetime that is accrued from other previous existences or lifetimes. So, without any further ado, let's ask Inelia. Hello, Inelia.
Hi.
As always, it's great to see you. We have a very interesting program planned for today. We have had so many listeners write in with questions about karma, karmic matters, being a soul and a body with a series of gifts and a series of challenges that they came in to experience. So, are you ready for our first question?
Yes.
Okay. I guess before even I start, would you like to define karma for our listeners?
Well, karma is something that we mentioned briefly on the previous show as well.
Yeah.
It is something that was like a game or one of the Matrix programs for the old paradigm where a person would be stuck in a loop, as it were, like a broken record. And so basically, the way that I see karma is not about, cause and effect and all these type of things, but it's a loop or a cycle that you're continuously going back and forth with another person or a situation or whatever. The only way that you can come out of it is your awareness expands because you've risen your vibrational level, so therefore your awareness is, you can see more. So once you see the cycle, then you are empowered to step away from it or to stop it. Yeah, and that's why this new paradigm that we are creating, the fifth paradigm, the fifth dimension, or the new paradigm. Or the fourth dimension, I think other people call it the 10th dimension. Anyway, what we're moving into, which is an empowered reality, you will be able to see the cycles and be able to choose whether to stay in them or to move out of them. So you no longer have to go through them over and over and over. There's no learning in them. There's just things that happen.
Interesting. Now, here's our first question from Attila. And she says, I'd like to ask you what you consider to be the best method of karma cleansing, because I need it very much. Thanks, Attila.
Okay, so the best method would be for you to do the fear processing exercise for 21 days. Yeah? Probably twice a day, morning and evening. And just look at all the fears about all the karmic cycles that you're stuck in and do that. The fear of being stuck in those cycles. What will this do? It will basically raise your vibrational level because fear is the lowest denominator in vibration that we can experience on the planet. Once you process it and reintegrate it, and you can find how to do it on their website, there's a tool right there. All the text is there. There's no excuses not to. And so once you process all of your fear about anything at all, it could be spiders or karma, it doesn't really matter. Your vibration rises because the lower denominator goes like this, so the average goes up, yeah? And when your vibrational level rises, your awareness automatically expands. Now, what happens when your awareness expands? You are able to see more. Yeah, you can see more stuff. You can see more situations. You can see what's really happening. Once you see things clearly, you have choices because then you can choose not to stay in cycles of karma. Yeah, you can choose to step away from them or to stop them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the fear processing exercise. And, over and over again, I hear you say 21 days. Mm-hmm. What's the significance or what's the power of doing something for 21 days?
21 days has been seen, and this is something that I've researched on the internet and in books as well, has been seen to be the amount of days needed to change an old habit. Yeah, or to create a new habit. So why 21 days? Because it takes that amount of days for you to reprogram yourself. That's it. It's very simple.
Okay, now this is, and we're switching gears again, but this is again about karma, and this is kind of a heavy question. This is from Lata, and Lata writes, Dear Inelia and Helane, I have a question about children. I have 3 daughters of my own, and my concern is how I could be the best parent for them. I mean, I get impatient and angry with them at times, and I feel so inadequate. I wonder, what made them choose me for their mother? Is it for certain karmic purposes?
Okay, so there's 2 questions there. How can you be a better parent? Yeah? Mm-hmm. And also, why did they choose me?
Yeah.
The answer to the first question is find something that brings you joy. Yeah? A happy mother and a happy father, in other words, a mother or a father that exists is joy, light, love. It's a completely different creature from a frustrated, hungry or upset or tired or bored parent. Bringing up children in the modern society is completely unnatural. Yeah, the thought that one woman has to take care of, or one man has to take care of, or even just a man and a woman taking care of one or more children by themselves is completely and utterly unnatural. It's a completely against our nature. You know, we're social beings. And in the old tribes and the native peoples, that doesn't exist, yeah? Those tribes and peoples who haven't been touched by Western society yet. And even if you look historically of how children were brought up before the Industrial Revolution, it used to be a community affair, yeah? The women would have children, would nurse them, and would normally take care of them in a community basis. So one woman or several women or the younger women would take care of the babies and children, while the older women would go out in the fields and do stuff, or everybody would go in the fields with the children, and everybody would take care of the children. It wouldn't be a separate thing. The children wouldn't be taken off and to schools every day. It was completely and utterly an artificial creation. And why do you feel stressed and lose patience? Because that's not your natural environment. Yeah? It's completely understandable. Now, what you need to do is work within, obviously, we all as parents have to work within the system. Yeah? We're in this system. We don't have an extended support system anymore. So what do? You find yourself something that you really enjoy doing. Yeah? And you make clear boundaries with your children. And for my child, for example, if he wants me to play with him and he's playing something that I find boring, I tell him, I say, well, I want to play with you, but that's boring to me. If you'd like to play with something with me that I find exciting and interesting, I'm more than willing to play with you. And he completely gets it, because he would never go and play a boring game with somebody else. Yeah? And it's the same with and the other thing that you can start fomenting in your children is for them to take responsibility for their actions, and also things like if they make a mess, they clean it up, yeah? If they're behaving in a way that's unsocially, not socially acceptable, to let them know, look, I'm a person, so please, behave in a way that you would behave with somebody else out there, yeah? Or if they do something and they hurt your feelings, turn around, look into their eyes and ask them, did you do that to hurt mommy? And they will immediately normally say, no, I didn't. But if they're truthful, they will say, yes, I did. We'll say, well, I didn't like that. Please don't hurt me again. I don't like being hurt. And just let them know. Communicate with them as equals. And why did the second part of the question, did they choose you as their parent? Absolutely. You chose them, they chose you. And it's possibly because you are in a period of your life that is expansive, you're sending in information, you're doing things to raise your personal vibration, and they want to have those tools, and they want to be able to be empowered themselves. So as you go through your journey of empowerment, they signed up for you to be their mom because they knew this. They knew you were going to be in a journey of empowerment and expansion and ascension. And they want to have that too. Even if it's in an unconscious level, maybe they'll grow up and become, I don't know, something completely 3D and asleep. But maybe you took these years with you as a person who is actively working on herself, to maybe next lifetime be able to do it themselves, yeah? So don't be attached to them being awakened this lifetime, or, trust in their higher selves. They made choices. Their higher self made choices for them and will continue to do so through their lives. Really respect that in them. Respect their higher self.
That was an excellent answer, and so helpful for so many parents that beat themselves up.
Right.
Say, I'm not doing a good job, and I'm a failure as a parent, and that just felt good to hear. So thank you. And Here's our next question, which is also very interesting. I'm curious about your answer. This is from Peter, and he's from Scottsdale, Arizona. And he says, Dear Inelia, I heard that the third dimension went away and that all karma and karmic debts were dissolved. I also heard that people born 12, 12, 12 and after were born with a crystalline body structure different than all of us born before that. Is this all true?
Well, the thing about the karma being removed or deleted or wiped out, that's part of this expansion of awareness, because in a way, yes, it is true, because we no longer need it. Yeah. Now, of course, we're still stuck. A lot of us and a lot of millions and millions of people around the planet are still stuck in cycles. Yeah. So what happens is that's now they have the opportunity to expand their awareness, have a look at the cycle, and step away from it. Yeah. Be empowered. They have that choice. Yeah. Karma is no longer necessary for our reality. That is true. Has the 3D gone away? No, not yet. It will take a couple of generations for 3D to dissolve completely, as all the individuals whom out of free will have chosen to stay asleep live out their natural lives. So there will be an aspect of 3D for the next 2.5 or 2 generations. What was the last part? I can't remember.
The last part was, I also heard that people born 12, 12, 12 right. and after, talking about a crystalline body structure.
Mm-hmm. I have not heard that before. It doesn't resonate with me. And as I scan, I don't see it. It feels very much that everybody on the planet now has access to a more expansive physical manifestation of their body, physical bodies, yeah? Mm-hmm. I don't know whether the new babies are coming in with a new genetic structure. It's possible. The planet at an energetic level is going through so much at the moment, and there's so much information coming through the sun that it's morphing all of us at a genetic level, that it's possible. It's very possible, because they don't have all that heaviness that was being built up from before, right? So it's possible that they're a lot lighter and they're different, but I haven't seen it myself. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's not there.
That's interesting, though. I was wondering about that myself, so I appreciate that answer. Our next question, Inelia, is from Sandy Franklin. And this is what she asks. She says, when you close your eyes to see the new Earth in its total evolved state, what does humanity look like? How does the energy feel? And what do you see in terms of humanity relating to each other? Thank you, and blessings be, Sandy.
It is a place of oneness. Basically, you're no longer separate from the trees and the plants, Gaia, or each other. You're not separate from your neighbor. You're not separate from, any other person on the planet. Yeah, you're one, and you're able to communicate directly with anybody or anything on the planet at any time at any point that you want to. And not if you don't, yeah? The vibrations of wholeness and completeness are there. The capacities and abilities and beauty are much more expansive. It's a different state, and it is our natural state. Because basically, the state that we're living through, or have been living through the past few thousand years, is not natural to the human species. Darkness is not natural to the human species. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many people tell you it is, or how many people tell you that, you can't see the light if you don't have dark, or how dark things teach you to be passionate and compassionate or whatever. Don't believe it. It's not true. It was just an experience that wanted to be experienced by our planet and by our species. Not so anymore. The human species has decided to move on back to its natural state, enhanced by the experience it's just had, right? Enhanced. Mm-hmm. And basically, the natural state is to be in joy, light, love. That's our natural state. This is our natural essence. go in there at that essence and experience it now. And you will be in that fifth dimension. You create it. Yeah, you create the new world from that space.
So these two Earths, when she was saying the new Earth, and that's the fifth dimensional Earth, at the same time, we have a third dimensional Earth that is also existing at the same time. Mm-hmm. What happens? We actually just are drifting away or apart from those who embrace the third dimensional paradigm?
Yeah, we coexist for the time being, and for the next 2.5 generations or so, we will be coexisting in this physical reality, because to do anything else would be too shocking, yeah, to the system and to the physical bodies. And so as the old sleepy souls, or the people who come in who want to stay asleep, live out their natural lives, and they will not be able to incarnate back onto the planet. Yeah, so only higher vibrational beings will be able to incarnate here. And it's a process of like a stepladder, because the vibration that's here right now only allows a certain amount of vibrational beings to come in, yeah, to certain levels. And then as they come in and the lower vibrational beings, or the ones that are asleep, die away, then the whole kind of average goes up, and then higher vibrational beings are able to come in. Do you see the relationship? That's why it takes time. Linear time is quite long, but linear time is an illusion, yeah? So that's why it exists at the same time. Individuals who are alive now can and are able to manifest there and create the fifth dimension right now, in themselves, in their body, and in their environment. And it's like, it's amazing when that happens. You know, it's like just step into that joy, light, love, with the intention of being in that joy, light, love, knowing that you have the right to live, to exist, and to work from, and to do all your projects within that field that is you, without anybody or anything trying to lower your vibration or polluting your vibration.
You know, Inelia, I can relate to that. I am somebody that most of the time will resonate at a very high frequency, but there are times when I come in contact with people that are in my family, or people that are just somewhere in my travels, that I can almost feel myself lowering down. So I feel like I'm on a fifth dimensional level, and then can be almost brought back to a third dimensional level, and it feels terrible. I actually feel
but it's a choice. And the choice is from thinking that they're allowed to do that. Yeah? They're like this permission for others to influence you negatively. They don't have that right anymore. And you have the right to stay in that fifth dimensional vibration always. You have that right now. You have the right.
Yeah.
Without anybody trying to lower it, or any situation or anything trying to lower it.
Yeah, it's hard, you know.
Including you. So even if you have negative thoughts or negative things happening in your emotional body or physical body, even that you can have to turn around and say, you know what? You don't have the right thought. You don't have the right body to lower my vibration. Yeah. Now let's think about that bit.
That is good. Because that's really true. Sometimes that's exactly what happens. There has to be something for us to be susceptible to people on a lower vibrational level. There still has to be some kind of shadow, something that's still in us.
It's a permission. It's permission. We're giving them permission. We just take away their permission. It's all by agreement. Nobody or anything can affect you without your agreement or your consent.
So
we take away their consent.
You set an intent originally. You start
Yes.
before you're on the telephone with maybe a lower vibrational mother or a relative that you're in touch with because they're family, but sort of every time that you speak to them, you come out with a heaviness. So what would you do? Set an intent prior to the conversation. Say
it's very practical. Yes, you begin with the intent. Absolutely. What do I do personally? Yeah, here we go. It's not an ad, but I'll try and cover and see so you can't see the make. So imagine, right? The phone rings, so I answer it. Hello. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Hang up. Put away.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really? And that
Yeah.
fast, that's interesting. I work
As soon as you feel it, you do not consent, right?
and that's how.
You hang up.
Oh.
And then, of course, they ring back. Yeah. Why did you hang up on me? Did you hang up on me? Oh, actually, yes, I did, because you were lowering my vibration and I do not consent to that. So unless you're going to, your intention is to raise my vibration, and keep it really high and filled with joy like love, I'm going to hang up on you again.
Oh my goodness, do people get mad at you?
Yes, of course they do. But eventually they come around and they start calling you with the most amazing, you have the most amazing calls.
Because that happens to me. I actually wear tiger's eye beads and I will wear cat's eye beads and I'm almost prepared because
Exactly,
I'm extremely sensitive.
It's the difference between protection. Protection, you are consenting to an attack. That's why you're protecting yourself, right? When you protect yourself, it's because you're consenting to being attacked. This is beyond it, right? You do not consent to anybody attacking you, nor anybody bringing down your vibration or anything. You do not consent to them doing it. Therefore, why would you need protection? Nobody can. And don't allow them to.
That's a beautiful answer. I know we strayed away from our talk about karma, but that's very, very helpful to me. And hopefully people won't find me rude after this.
And it doesn't matter if they do. Eventually they come around, and eventually they really appreciate it. They really do.
It's interesting. Wow. That was, like I said, I'm taking that one in. I'm taking that one in personally. And I guess let's move along. But thank you so much. And thank you to Sandy for asking that wonderful question that triggered off this lovely dialogue. But our next question is coming from Margarita. From cellular memory and family constellations, I heard that we come to life with family patterns and programs scripted in our cellular structure. Can you elaborate on this?
Yes, that is very resonant. That's very likely to happen because of the nature of the game that we come into, yeah? However, you're not stuck with that. That is valid for the moment of birth. Yeah? And whatever happens afterwards is your choice. So you can use those tools, you can use those patterns, you can empower and expand on the ones that serve you, and you can dissolve and change the ones that don't. That's, for example, this is a really good example that a lot of people have done astrological charts for me, yeah? And then they go, but you're not like that, and this is more like me, and, they do all these things. This sounds like me, it doesn't sound like you, and how come, it says in this chart that you have to be this way, and how come you're not, And it's because we don't need to, yeah?
Right.
You have the power, you have the free will to consent to anything, including structures that you came in with, whether they be genetic or not. I saw a girl who came in with a certain physical shape, and without any artificial surgeries or anything, she now looks like an elf, like an elemental. Yeah? Wow. And that's because she knew her identity was very much that of being an elemental of the earth, coming here and incarnating in human form to be able to bridge the gap between the elementals and earth. And now she looks like an elf, and she's tall and thin and, everything. You look at her and she's an elemental, she's not quite human. And, but she came in through genetically being a human being. Her parents were human, and with all this other stuff. But she knew so clearly in her mind that as soon as the shift occurred in 2011, she was able to tap into all that energy, and that, the fact that the world now, including our physical selves, are more able to pliable. They're more pliable. She tapped immediately into her essence, and her body reflected it. So, yeah.
Wow.
You're not stuck with your genetic material. You can change it. You can change it in all sorts of different ways through thoughts. And you can Google it and you find that now scientists are looking into this and seeing that it is true. You can change a genetic structure through thought. You can change it through emotions. You can change it through food. Yeah. So you can change your genetic structure very easily, and through linear time, it won't take very long. It probably takes 21 days, right?
21 days. How empowering that nobody is stuck as anything.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
And I like that.
You can change your mind anytime. You can change your mind anytime.
Love that. All right. Well, here's our next question. And this is from Zeta Zaninga. And she asks this. She says, "Hi, Inelia. I just heard from you on Dr. Dream's podcast that you mentioned that you didn't have any past incarnations, but your body did. I never heard about this before. How does this work? Can you please explain this to me?"
Okay, so there's a lot of information on my website about the differences between your physical body and yourself. The physical body is an elemental of the planet Earth. It's the baby of Gaia. Yeah, your physical body is Gaian. It was born here. It's made out of Gaian materials. You eat every day from her animals, her plants, and her essence. You breathe her air. You drink her water. Your physical body is the baby of Gaia. Yeah, It's animated by an external soul. Yeah, an external soul that either developed here on the planet or could be from another planet or another dimension. That soul and that Gaia body meet, join, and animate each other on the 3D and become a human being. Yeah? So that's basically it. And that elemental body has had an evolutionary journey here on the planet. If you think about it, even each cell started as an atom, then became a mineral, then became a biological thing, and then became connected to other cells. Even throughout your own physical body on this lifetime, it's had a journey, yeah? From the basic elements to a complex biological entity. And it's had memories because the bodies dissolve back into Gaia and return, yeah? And they have their own trajectory of evolution. Just like the soul has its own trajectory of evolution, so does the body and this planet. And sometimes genetic material which has come from other planets and inserted into the human being will have a genetic lineage or evolution on that other planet as well. So you can your body can have more than one planetary experience of physical reality. It's the physical expression of divine beingness, yeah? The physical sentient expression of the Great Spirit. And that's why, for example, people who go into comas and or die but are kept alive artificially, anybody who's had that experience will know that the body's there, but there's nobody home. Yeah. The body, the physical body, can continue living without artificially for a while without the soul spirit being inside of it. And everybody knows that when the physical body dies, the being continues. Yeah. The spirit, the soul continues. So there's no news there, but you can see the two beings, right? And it's like a symbiotic relationship when the two meet. When you work together as buddies, this is your real soulmate, right?
Yeah.
When you work together as buddies and really support each other, you can do anything on the planet. You can reach about anything on the planet. When you're working against each other, or you have problems with each other, or you're not communicating with each other, that's when health problems happens, when body issues happen, when your sabotage in the physical happens, and all those things happen.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. So in a sense, your body as this question was asking. Your body has had previous lives on this earth, but your soul came directly from source. The
Right.
original person that was coming to inhabit your body decided that they did not want to stay. And
Right.
then you came as a walk-in?
Yeah, but that would be the best description. Yes. Yeah. It was asked, the physical body, once that it was vacated, was asked whether it would be okay to have another being in there. And the physical body resisted because she was also in her last incarnation here. And that's why she was chosen, because she was so evolved. She was able to hold this vibration and not burn up or something. So, and she was very resistant because she's had enough. She was ready to have a different experience of physicality, which is a higher vibrational body, yeah? But she stayed, and she agreed. And it has been horrible for her because I had no idea. I've never been in a body before. I have treated her like, if you can imagine, a fine, fantastic, amazing, ultimate racing horse, yeah? The best racing horse on the planet. And you put somebody on there who's never ridden a horse and has no idea about horses and doesn't even know how to communicate with the horse, right? And this is what happened to this poor physical body, and she's had a horrible time of it. But eventually, when it was only recently when the Ascension 101 course was channeled, and we had the unit of the physical body, reconnecting with the physical body unit came through, and I did it because I was doing the Ascension course, it was coming down, and I started doing and I did it for months, actually, in order to reconnect with my physical body, and she was so relieved. But even now, she has a hard time, and sometimes she will contact other physical bodies to give me a phone call and say, you've got a migraine. Can you go to bed? It's like it's still trying to, there's still a communication problem there. But I'm working on it every single day.
Wow, and it's ongoing for all people, for everyone here.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That was interesting. Okay, Inelia, that was beautiful. This leads us directly into our next question from Petra. And the question is, how is it that if Gaia already ascended in June of 2010, our bodies, which are a part of her domain, are lagging so far behind?
I think it's 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because bodies are like animals, yeah? And like, for example, if you have a dog or a horse, if you, for example, expand the horse's awareness and you materialize something physical in front of it, the body will get frightened. Changing a reality for a physical body too quickly sends it into shock, and it's just not very good, basically. So the slowness of it that's happening, the transition out of the one illusion and the creation of a new illusion, which is a higher vibrational illusion of physicality or reality, which is the fifth dimension or the new paradigm, is gradual, mostly because of our physical bodies, yeah? To make sure that they have a very easy transition of it. It also facilitates all the souls that don't want to have an empowered reality and their free will choice, yeah? Okay. To be able to continue being asleep. So I would say, yeah, that would be the answer, really. But each person, if you start working with your physical body right away and reconnecting with it, then you can have the core intention, both of you, the physical body and you, to have a 5D reality, create the 5D reality right now, this moment, yeah? And then you will find that your body is much more pliable, much easier to heal, much easier to shape in the form that you both love, much easier to move around in the physical universe and to create situations and things that happen in the physical reality much easier if you start working with your physical body and slowly introduce it to the expanded awareness. Well, how do you do it? The same way you do it yourself. You start finding fears of the physical body and you process them. Well, you help your physical body process them, for example. That's one thing that you could do.
Interesting. It was a very good question. All right, Inelia, we have one last question, okay? And this is coming from Mary Ann. And she says, Dear Inelia, in your latest interview, you made clear that the darkness always says, I am useful. And I can understand that. My question now, why did I incarnate to Earth with the duality and darkness when it's not even necessary? Thanks a lot. Love and light, Mary Ann.
Okay, so the reason even that you're watching this show is that you're a higher vibrational being who doesn't really come from a duality, yeah? And probably doesn't comprehend negative anything, intention, thoughts, or actions, because they're completely, well, what's that about, right?
Yeah.
For many, many people. Why did you incarnate? Because by incarnating here, you in your essence are raising the vibrational level of the planet. You don't have to do anything. You just have to exist here as a human being, and you immediately affect the human collective, your physical body, and all the people that you meet. Yeah, you don't have to talk to them. You don't have to do anything. Just stay in that pure joy, light, love, core essence, who you are. You're not even going there. You're not integrating it. You're not bringing it in. You are it. Just be that energy all the time, every single day. And that's all that you need to do. And that's why you came in, because you have access to it. You have, that's your natural, it's your natural state because you just came out of there, So yeah, that would be it. That's why you came here.
Okay. But all of us knew when we were coming in as a soul in a body, we knew we were coming to an earth that had a darker side.
Right.
We knew what we were coming into.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
And we came in so we would choose the light.
No, it's not choosing. You are. You are the light. You're not choosing. You are the light. And basically, it's an invasion. The planet is being invaded by light. Yeah? People talk about ET invasions and stuff. It's already happening. It's been happening for decades. More and more light beings are being born as human beings, and they're polluting the planet with light. This is it. This is the invasion.
So we are light, and when we choose to not be light, we're not being our true selves.
Correct.
We're not being who we are and what we really
exactly.
want to be.
Right, exactly. We're being distracted. We're being, persuaded by others because we have no idea. We all came in and we had no idea how it works here because we've never had an experience of darkness. So no idea how the game worked. We've been fooled. We've been conned. We've been made disabled by distractions and by negativity. We didn't know we had the right to not consent to that because we didn't know how the rules worked. And if somebody comes up and he says, this is planet Earth and I have the right to torture you and to make your life miserable. And you go, you've just arrived here and you go, oh, really? Oh, okay, I guess. It's like, and then it takes a while before you go, hold on a minute. That's not true.
Yeah.
Go away, go away. You haven't got the right to do that at all, you know.
Yeah. Good answer, and thank you so much. Inelia, as far as we're talking about karma, do you have a closing message for our listeners?
Yeah, remember that now you have a choice, yeah? You either consent to something or you don't. And don't play all the stories, because we all have excuses of why we don't get out of those patterns, yeah? Mm-hmm. And those karmic things. We have loads of excuses. The tools are there. Raise your vibrational level. Empower yourself. And just choose differently. Change your mind.
What an uplifting show. Thank you so much once again, Inelia. Thank you so much to all of our listeners for tuning in to Ask Inelia. Till next time, love, light, Blessings to all. Bye.